So hey all, welcome back to the new video. So I think today we'll start with mm I think last day we had completed what is C language, what is program, why this programming language is required. Yes, this much I had completed in the last video. So today we'll start with computer languages. So computer languages are basically classified into two types. Okay, first one is what, high level language, and second one is what, low level language. High level language is like English language, or we can call it like the language which is more user friendly, okay, or which is more close to the human being, is called as high level language, and it is just like English language. Okay, then high level language actually had some advantages and disadvantages as well. Okay, so it requires a translator. Actually, high level language requires a translator to communicate with a computer. And if we'll talk about the advantages of high level language, like it is more user friendly, we can develop new programs very easily. Okay, and if some error would be there in the program, we can rectify it very quickly. And next is disadvantages. If we'll talk about the disadvantages of high level language, like first thing, it requires a translator to communicate with a computer. Okay, because computer cannot understand high level language directly. Okay, so it will convert, the translator would convert the high level language into the machine level language or the binary language, and that binary language is understandable by computer. Okay, so it requires more time consuming actually. Okay, next is, it also more it will take time and cost also. If some if definitely whenever we are using a translator, definitely it requires more time, more cost. And we okay, next is like low level language. Low level language is we can call it like it is more closer to the computer. Okay, it is not close to the human being. Okay, it also has some advantages and disadvantages. It has the uh, execution time like very fast, because it doesn't require any kind of mediator. Computer directly understand this low level language. Okay, and if we'll talk about the advantages, like it doesn't require any kind of translator or mediator. Computer directly understand it, so the execution time is very uh, fast, we can call it. Okay, so then if we'll talk about the disadvantages, like developing a new program is really a difficult task. If there are some errors or issues are there, we can't resolve it very quickly. So these are like the disadvantages. You can just think that a b- suppose we are writing something in English, it would be definitely easy, but whenever we will write that same thing in the binary language by using zeros and one, it's not that much easy. But at the early age where the computer were developed, okay, in the 90s and all, so at that time initially binary language, that low level language was used as a programming language, but later this high level language came into situation. The low level language is basically classified into two types. First one is assembly language, second one is binary language. Okay, so assembly language is just like a some special symbols are there, or we call it as mnemonics. Okay, so we use some mnemonics or special symbols in the assembly language. Okay, and the binary language, here only zeros and ones are there to write a program. Okay, then see here I have written the fully concept of binary language. The language which uses only zeros and ones is called as binary language. Only machine understand the binary language. What is assembly language? The language which uses special symbols or mnemonics is called as assembly symbols. Okay, For example, like add, sub, this kind of symbols they use actually in the assembly language. What is high level language? The language which uses English like words and which is like more user friendly is called as high level language. For example, C, C++, Java, Python, these are all high level language. Okay, then what is translator? As I told you, like translator is for what? Is for translating the language or the program from one language into another, we can call it. A translator is a software or a program which converts or translate one language into another language. There are three type of translator. One is compiler, interpreter, and assembler. Okay, so high level language actually can use maybe compiler, maybe interpreter, but assembly language that only uses assembler. Like assembler is only allowed by which language? Like assembly language. Okay, but compiler, interpreter, these both can be used by any of the high level language. Okay, they have the choice. Compiler is a translator which converts high level language into binary language, and compiler also reports syntax error. What does it mean? See, compiler, the first task is what? Like translating from one language to another language. Okay, like high level language into binary language. And the second task of the compiler is like it reports syntax error. Suppose we are writing a program and some syntax errors are there, or we are not following the appropriate path or syntax or rules, then it will report the error. Okay, interpreter is a translator. It is also a translator which converts high level language into binary language line by line. The main difference between the compiler and the interpreter is like compiler will scan the entire program at a time. Okay, but interpreter scans the program line by line. Okay, compiler may take less time for compiling, but maybe later we can get some error. But interpreter may take some time, like more time to interpreting or translating, but it's like 100% correct, kind of that. Okay, at a time compiler can do, interpreter can take more time, like more than compiler, as it is doing line by line interpreting or translating the things. So it is more appropriate actually. Interpreter is slower and compiler is faster. Interpreter is slower, but it do the task very perfectly. Compiler is little bit faster. Okay, assembler is a translator which converts assembly language into binary language. So assembler is a type of a translator that converts only assembly language into binary language. Only assembly language uses assembler. All high level language use either compiler or interpreter. They have the choice between compiler and interpreter. C language, it's like a procedure oriented programming language. Okay, so what do you mean by procedure oriented programming language? Procedure oriented programming is a programming paradigm or programming methodology. Okay, so here the main focus of the program is on the procedure or functions. Like most of the events are done by function. Okay, paradigm means what? Principle. Principle of procedure oriented programming language. The program is divided into multiple subtasks and each subtask written inside the function. As I told you, like here the main focus point is function. Okay, the whole the big task simplified into small task, but each task could be done by what? Function. Or most of the tasks are written inside the function. The advantage of using function is code reusability. We can reuse the code again and again. Okay, a C language follows the principle of procedure oriented programming paradigm. That's why C is called as procedure oriented programming language. Okay, as C follows this principle, so that's why we call it as procedure oriented programming language. Then C language was developed by Dennis Ritchie, who was a computer scientist, and it was developed in early 1972. Then actually he was like thrilled to develop a secure operating system, that is Unix operating system, and programming language which is like more user friendly. So for that, actually for that purpose, C language was developed. Then number system. Okay, so what is number system? I think this number system would be covered in another topic also. Okay, like some digital topic, electronics topic would be there. They will actually cover this number system in your academic career actually. Okay, number system is also important. What is number system? A number system is a technique of representing the numbers in the computer system. In computer system, how the numbers are arranged, or how will represent the numbers in the computer system. Okay, that is called as number system actually. There are 4 number system. First one is decimal number, octal, hexadecimal number, then binary number. Okay, let me check the time. Okay, it's almost like 10 minutes. Okay, so decimal means what? 10. Okay, octal means 8, hexadecimal means 16, and binary means 2. I think most of the people have some idea regarding this, isn't it? But still I'll discuss. Every number system has some one base and one range. Okay, for decimal number system, the base is like 10 and the range is like 0 to 9, like less than 1. Like the range would be start from 0 and would be less than 1 from the base. Okay, as we are considering the base as 10, so the range would be 0 to 9. Okay, 0 to 9. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then whatever the number we are making by using these numbers only. Okay, the range, like the in between the range, how much the numbers are coming, whatever the number we may make for this system, like decimal number system, the number should be within the range like 0 to 9. Obviously whatever the number will write, that number definitely would be range from 0 to 9. Okay, then octal number system, see here we can define it properly. Here the base is 8, octal, oct means 8, the range is 0 to 7. Okay, means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But whatever the number we can form, we can't use the number like 8 and 9. Okay, see, there is no such number where we are using 8 and 9. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, any number you can consider it. Okay, then programming language. Okay, like C, C++, Java, Python, these are like programming language. Here we write the programs and here we use the number system. Okay. So prefix we used here actually before writing the number. So for decimal number there is no such prefix. For octal the prefix is like 0. For hexadecimal the prefix is 0x. Okay, for binary it's like 0b, maybe lowercase or uppercase. See here, decimal number no prefix is there, but for octal 10 is a octal number and the prefix is 0. Okay, for hexadecimal 0x, and for binary it's like 0b. Okay, hexadecimal number system, see here the base is 16, hexadecimal means 16, the range is like 0 to 15, but after 9 is there any number? No, like after 9 what would come? 10, which is the combination of 0 and 1. So for that only they had introduced like 0 to 9 are numbers. After that 10 to 15 we are using as a number, but we will use as alphabets A to F. You can't use after G, H and all. No, you can't use. They have made this rule that for hexadecimal numbers, especially 0 to 9, the number we can consider. But for 10, suppose I want to write 10, I can write A instead of 10. Okay, for 11, B, C, 12, D, 13, kind of that. Okay, see, 2A means 2, then 10. Okay, instead of 10 we are writing A. Okay, 0 to 9 we can write simply numbers, but after that we can use the alphabet like A to F. Okay, then binary number system, here the base is 2 and the range is 0 and 1. I think everybody have this idea, no? 0 and 1 are the binary numbers. Okay, these all are binary numbers. Okay, then keywords. I think keywords will start in the next video. Okay, so that's all for today's video. Bye.